All right, so welcome to another deep dive. And today we're tackling something that's honestly been blowing my mind lately, and I think it's going to blow yours too. We're talking blockchain video games.
Yeah, and it's easy to just wave it off as like, another buzzy tech thing, but it's actually way more than that. It's really changing the whole game, literally, in terms of how we play, how we own stuff in games, and how these virtual economies work.
I mean, yeah, that's what's got me hooked too. It's not just about playing anymore. It's like you're part of this whole new digital world where you actually own a piece of it.
Exactly. Like, think about all the time and money people spend in games, getting those rare items, leveling up characters, and in the end, you don't really own any of it. It's all stuck inside that game's little world.
It's true. If the game shuts down, poof, it's gone. Right.
Yeah, but blockchain games, they're trying to flip that whole script. They use this tech, cryptocurrencies and NFTs to let players actually own their in-game stuff. Like imagine your character, your weapons, your virtual land, all as NFTs.
NFTs. Okay. But how does that actually change things?
Well, NFTs live on this thing called a blockchain. It's like this big, secure digital ledger that everyone can see. So when you own an NFT, it's really yours. You can prove you own it, and you can trade it or sell it just like a real-world collectible.
So it's not just tied to the game anymore.
Nope, it's yours. And that's where these player-driven economies come in. You can actually earn cryptocurrency by playing and then use it to buy and sell stuff in these games. It's like this whole new level of ownership and control.
Okay, but is this like a big deal? I mean, is anyone really playing these blockchain games?
Oh, it's definitely more than just a fad. Like, the market projections are crazy. It's going to jump from, like, $128 billion in 2022 to over $614 billion by 2030.
Yeah, and I guess that makes sense when you think about it. NFTs are already huge. And this play to earn thing, it's like a whole new way to, well, earn.
Yeah, and that's exactly why we're doing this deep dive. We want to look under the hood and see how these games are actually made. Like, what goes into developing a blockchain game?
Okay, so if I'm a developer, where do I even start? Like, is it way more complicated than building a regular game?
Yeah, it definitely adds some layers. And the very first thing you got to figure out is which blockchain platforms to use. That's like your foundation. It affects how fast transactions happen, how much they cost, the whole vibe of the community around your game.
Got it. So it's not like, oh, everyone uses this one engine. It's more strategic. What are some of the big contenders then?
Well, you've got Ethereum. It's like the OG, right?
Yep.
It's got this huge community of developers, tons of tools, really strong security. If you want your game to be super secure and potentially interact with other blockchain applications, Ethereum is a solid choice. Plus, it's got these standards like ERC 721 for NFTs and ERC 20 for tokens, which are basically like the building blocks for a lot of this stuff.
Okay, so Ethereum, it's secure, it's well established, but I feel like I've heard some downsides too.
Yeah, there are a couple. Transactions can be kind of slow. It's only like 15 transactions per second. And when you've got a lot of players doing stuff, that can create lag. And then there are gas fees, which are basically like little transaction fees. They can get kind of high, especially when the network's busy.
So if my game is all about like constant microtransactions or fast-paced action, Ethereum might not be the best.
Right. There are ways to work around it, like using something called layer 2 solutions, but it adds complexity. So that's where other platforms come in. Like EOS is designed for speed. It's got much faster transactions and way lower fees.
Okay, so EOS, Speed Demon, low fees. When would that be the better pick?
If you've got a game that's all about like tons of transactions, like a trading card game or something with lots of NFT action, EOS could be your jam. It can handle a lot of volume because it uses parallel processing.
Okay, makes sense. Any other platforms worth mentioning?
Yeah, we've also got these EVMs or Ethereum virtual machines. They're basically like other blockchains that are designed to work really well with Ethereum's tech. It's kind of like trying to get the best of both worlds, the security and the ecosystem of Ethereum, but with faster transactions and lower costs.
Okay, so basically, choosing the platform is like setting the stage for your whole game. You got to really think about what's most important.
Absolutely. Think about how many transactions you expect, how much those fees will matter to your players, what kind of security you need, and even what other blockchain stuff you might want your game to interact with. It's a big decision.
Okay, platform sorted. Let's talk game design now. Like, how does adding blockchain change how you actually design the game itself?
That's where it gets really interesting. It's not just about slapping some NFTs onto an existing game. You got to think about where blockchain actually adds something valuable to the experience.
So not just a gimmick, but something that actually makes the game better.
Exactly. Like, think about ownership. In a blockchain game, players can really own their stuff, like those rare items or special characters. And because they're NFTs, you can prove you own them, which makes them way more valuable and collectible. A good example is the sandbox. Players can buy virtual land and build stuff on it, and it's all theirs as NFTs. They can even sell it.
I see. So it's not just like, oh, I have a cool sword in this game. It's like, I own this unique sword, and it has real value because it's an NFT.
Yeah. And then there's the play to earn aspect. This is huge. It lets players earn actual cryptocurrency just by playing. So it's not just entertainment anymore. It's a way to potentially make money. Axie Infinity was one of the first big games to do this. Players breed and battle these little creatures called Axies, and they earn tokens that they can actually cash out.
Wow, so it's like gaming meets investing, kind of?
Yeah, kinda. It's a whole new way to think about how games can work. And some games are even going further, experimenting with governance using DAOs. That's where players who own certain tokens get to vote on how the game develops. Like, imagine being able to directly influence the future of your favorite game. That's the power of DAOs.
Okay, so blockchain can change ownership, how players earn, and even how the game is governed.
Yeah.
But the game still has to be fun, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's the most important thing. The blockchain stuff is cool, but if the game itself isn't engaging, nobody's going to play it. It's got to be fun first and blockchain second.
Right, makes sense. So let's say I'm designing my blockchain game, and I've got all these cool items and features. How do I decide which ones to actually turn into tokens or NFTs?
That's the tokenization part, and it's all about strategy. You got to think, what makes sense to be on the blockchain? For unique items like rare weapons or special characters, NFTs are the way to go. Like those CryptoKitties, those were all individual NFTs, each one unique and owned by the player. That's what made them so collectible.
Right. And I guess for in-game currency, that's where fungible tokens come in.
Exactly. It's like regular money. One token is the same as another. Axie Infinity uses this token called SLP, and players earn it by playing. Then they can use it to breed new Axies.
Okay, NFTs for unique stuff,
Yeah.
fungible tokens for currency. Got it.
But how much control do developers have over these tokens once they're out there?
They still get to set the rules, like how many tokens exist, how they can be used, if they can be traded. It's all about defining how these tokens work within the game's economy.
Yeah.
And they got to make sure they're following the rules of the blockchain platform they chose.
All right, platform decided, game designed, tokenization figured out. What's next? This is where my brain starts to melt a little.
Yeah, this is where we get into the hardcore tech stuff. This is smart contract time. Smart contracts are basically like little programs that live on the blockchain, and they control how all these tokens and NFTs work.
So they're like the rule enforcers of the blockchain world. Exactly. They handle everything, like creating new tokens, transferring them between players, even stuff like how characters level up or items get combined. Like in Axie Infinity, the breeding mechanics, that's all controlled by smart contracts.
So if I want to trade my NFT sword for your NFT shield, the smart contract makes sure that happens fairly and securely based on the rules that were programmed in.
Exactly. And writing these smart contracts, that's a whole other skill set. It requires knowing specific programming languages like Solidity for Ethereum. And here's the kicker. Security is paramount because once you put a smart contract on the blockchain, it's really hard to change. So if there's a bug or a vulnerability, well, remember that Axie Infinity hack where they lost $600 million?
Yeah, that's a good reminder that this stuff is serious business.
For sure. So we've got the blockchain, the smart contracts, all the back-end stuff. But how do players actually interact with all of this? Like, it can't all be command lines and code, right?
Right. That's where the user interface comes in. It's got to be something that regular people can actually understand and use.
Absolutely. It has to be user-friendly, even for people who've never touched a blockchain before. That means easy wallet integration, so players can connect their crypto wallets like MetaMask and manage their tokens and NFTs.
So the wallet is like their key to this whole blockchain world.
Yep, it's where they store and manage everything. And the interface has to make it super easy to see what they own, trade it, use it in the game, all without getting bogged down in the technical details. The goal is to make it feel as smooth and intuitive as any other online game.
I can see how that's super important. You don't want to alienate players just because the tech is complicated.
Right. Okay, so now we've built the game, the blockchain side is working, and the interface is user-friendly. What happens next?
I'm guessing lots and lots of testing.
You got it. Testing is crucial, especially for the smart contracts. You got to make sure there are no bugs, no security holes, nothing that could cause problems.
Hmm.
And for this, developers use test nets, which are like practice versions of the real blockchains. They can test everything without risking real money.
Makes sense. It's like a safe space to make sure everything's working before you launch it to the world.
Exactly. And once the testing's done and everything's solid, then it's deployment time. That means putting those smart contracts onto the real, live blockchain and setting up the game servers to connect to it. That's when the game goes live.
Okay, the game is live, everything's working. How do you actually get players to play it? Is marketing different for blockchain games?
Definitely. Community is everything in the blockchain world. You got to build hype, get people talking, show them why this game is different. Social media is key. Platforms like X, Reddit, Discord, Axie Infinity, they were masters at this. They built a huge community before the game even launched.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of blockchain games offering free stuff to early players.
Right, like airdrops.
Yeah.
Giving away tokens or NFTs is a great way to get people interested. And then the play to earn aspect, that's a big draw too. But it's not just about getting people in the door. You got to keep them engaged, keep building that community, show them why owning their in-game stuff is actually valuable.
I see. So it's not just a marketing blitz, it's about fostering a real community around the game.
Exactly. But with all this cool stuff, there are also some challenges. Blockchain gaming is still new, and it's not without its hurdles.
What are some of the biggest ones?
Scalability is a biggie. Some blockchains can't handle tons of transactions at once, which can make the game laggy. And the user experience, even with good interfaces, it can still be confusing for some people. Then there's the regulatory stuff, the rules around crypto and NFTs. That's a whole other can of worms. And of course, security is always a concern. You got to make those smart contracts bulletproof.
It sounds like there's a lot to think about, both on the tech side and the business side. But despite the challenges, we have seen some really successful blockchain games already, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like Axie Infinity, they really nailed the play to earn model. And Decentraland, they created this whole metaverse where you can own land, build stuff, and it's all decentralized. And the Sandbox, they're all about letting players create their own games and experiences, all powered by NFTs.
So they're all kind of taking different approaches, but they're all showing what's possible with blockchain gaming.
Yeah, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's still early days, and I think we're going to see some crazy innovation in the next few years.
So for anyone listening who's thinking, hey, I want to make one of these games, what advice would you give them?
First, learn the basics. Understand blockchain tech, smart contracts, all that stuff. There are tons of resources online. Then, pick the right platform for your game. Think about speed, cost, security, all that. And most importantly, design your game with blockchain in mind from the start. It's not just an add-on, it's a whole new way to think about gaming.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's about using blockchain to make the game better, not just because it's trendy.
Right. And don't forget to test everything like crazy. Use those test nets, make sure your code is solid, and build a community. Get people excited about your game. Blockchain gaming is all about community.
Awesome. Well, I think that's a great place to wrap up our deep dive. We've covered a ton from the tech side to the business side, and hopefully you, the listener, have a much better understanding of what makes blockchain gaming so interesting and why it has the potential to be so huge.
Yeah, and the biggest takeaway for me is that this is just the beginning. Like, we're still figuring out what blockchain can really do for gaming. So I'll leave you with this. What do you think the future of blockchain gaming holds? What crazy innovations are just around the corner? It's an exciting time to be a gamer and a developer in this space.
For sure. And who knows, maybe one of our listeners will create the next big blockchain gaming hit.
It could happen.
All right, that's all for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.